Hello everyone out there. In the last class, we discussed what are physical reactions and what are chemical reactions. Okay. Now today in this class, we will be talking about more chemical reactions and how to represent these chemical reactions. Chemical reactions are represented in condensed form, like in short form, by using the chemical formula. We will use chemical formula of reactants as well as products in the chemical reaction. Now, for example, let me take the reaction between zinc particles and copper sulfate solution. Okay. So, instead of writing zinc plus copper sulfate, no, in words, I will use the symbols of these both compounds or whatever elements we are using. So, how will we use it? We will write down the formula, the molecular formula. Now, zinc formula, zinc is an element, so I will write it as zinc, Zn, plus copper sulfate formula is CuSO4 gives, so what the products are always written on the right side with the arrow facing towards the right direction. What are the products that you get? You will get again zinc sulfate and copper particles are the thing that we get as product. So here, while writing a chemical equation, what all things you have to keep in mind? Before that, what is a chemical equation? A chemical equation is representation of a chemical reaction. Now, this is a chemical reaction which is represented in the form of a chemical equation. And what are we doing to that reaction? We have condensed it, we have minimized, we have shortened it by using the molecular formula. So here, instead of writing zinc sulfate, you will use the molecular formula. So you have condensed it, you have made it short by using the molecular formula. Understood? So this is the chemical equation. Now here, there are certain things that you have to consider when you write a chemical reaction or a chemical equation. Now here we are talking about chemical equation. What all things? Reactants are always written on the left. These all you know, but still we will discuss it once. Reactants are written on the left side. If there is more than one reactant, you will use a plus sign, plus. Here in this reaction, you have only two reactants. Whereas on the right side, what you get after the chemical reaction, the products are written on the right side. Now again, if there are more than one or two products, you will again use a plus sign. Yeah? So here the products are zinc sulfate and copper. So these are the two most important things that you have to consider while you are writing a chemical equation. Next, you will also write about the physical state of the chemical reactants and the products. Solid, liquid, okay, gas, whether the reactants are solid state or liquid state, or again another state that is aqueous state. No? Familiar with the word aqueous state? What is aqueous state? Anything if you dissolve it in water, that state that you get is called as the aqueous state. So here copper sulfate was dissolved in water. So this is aqueous state. So I will write AQ. Similarly, zinc, we used zinc granules or powder. So that was in solid state. And the product zinc sulfate, again you will get it in aqueous state, AQ, and copper we will get it as particle form, so solid. So third important thing that you have to mention the physical state of the reactants as well as the product. Next what all things you have to consider while you write a chemical equation? You have to specify, suppose there is some speciality in the reactants or products. For example, if I am using a catalyst. If you are using a catalyst, you have to mention the name of the catalyst. If there is a certain temperature that should be followed compulsorily, then you have to mention the temperature. So what all are the next important things that you have to mention? If you are using a catalyst, you have to write the name of the catalyst. Most famous catalysts are nickel, manganese dioxide are also used as catalyst. Okay, these two names you remember. As we go, you will be familiar with more names of catalyst. So if you are using catalyst, you have to write the name of the catalyst on the arrow. Then if there is a certain temperature that you have to follow, that also you have to mention, 60 degrees Celsius or specific temperature, in this temperature only this reaction takes place. So you have to specify that special characteristic. Again, if certain pressure has to be maintained, that also you will write. Suppose you are heating the reactants. So on the arrow you will mention the triangle sign. Here, as we discussed, certain special features should be mentioned on the arrow. For example, let us take the heating of limestone, Kakotri. Okay, remember it as Kakotri. What is this Kakotri? Kakotri is Kakotri, limestone. Heating limestone. So you will put the triangle. Triangle sign denotes limestone is heated. When you heat limestone powder, you will see that it is getting converted into slaked lime, calcium oxide, also called as slaked lime, plus carbon dioxide gas is given out. Now here, I told you, the state of the reactants and products should be mentioned. Kakotri or limestone, solid state. You're heating, so that is mentioned, special characteristic. And here, CaO, calcium oxide or slaked lime, again in solid state. And carbon dioxide is a gas. So you will use the upward arrow. Gas will not wait for us. The gas will evolve. The gas will be given off. Certain test to check whether carbon dioxide gas is evolved or not. For example, famous test is lime water test. If you pass this gas through lime water, if the lime water turns milky, it proves that carbon dioxide gas has evolved in this reaction. Okay, so these are the things that you have to consider. State is mentioned, special, here heating is important. So that have to be mentioned above the arrow. Consider another reaction where catalyst plays an important role in the reaction, as we discussed earlier. Take the example of vegetable oil. Vegetable oil, when it is passed through hydrogen gas, so hydrogen gas means you will show the arrow in the upward direction, or you can write G. Vegetable oil in liquid form, so state is also mentioned. Gives, now this arrow, the important criteria that you have to mention here. The temperature should be strictly 60 degrees Celsius and it requires a catalyst, nickel. The catalyst is a substance that speeds up the rate of chemical reaction. It speeds up the reaction without actually taking part in the reaction. So here you have to use nickel as catalyst, and what we get the product? We get the product as Vanaspati ghee. Vanaspati ghee, which is in solid state. So states are mentioned, important features for the reaction to take place. So that is also mentioned. Then in the exam you can expect here a box. So there you have to mention the name of the catalyst, nickel. Okay, so this is an example where catalyst should be specified in the chemical reaction. Without this, the reaction will not happen. Okay. Now the next example. The reaction which we learned first. Now in that example, what did we learn in that reaction? We mixed zinc granules to copper sulfate and we got zinc sulfate and copper particles. Now in this reaction, if you touch the test tube, you will feel heat. The test tube gets heated, means heat is given out. Heat is given out. Heat is given out. So in this reaction, heat is given out. So we are writing heat in the product column. In this reaction, heat is supplied so that the reaction takes place. Here heat is given for the reaction to take place, whereas here heat is evolved. Heat is given out as product. So plus heat. So this is a exothermic reaction where heat is evolved. Exothermic reaction. Exothermic. Thermal means related to heat. Exothermic means heat is given out. What is the opposite of exothermic? Endothermic. Endothermic means heat is taken. Okay. Heat is evolved, given out, exothermic reaction. So in the specify this part, heat part also in the chemical reaction. So this is an exothermic reaction. Let us talk about the states. Zinc in solid state. This is in water, so aqueous state. Zinc sulfate also aqueous state. Copper solid state, and heat is evolved. It is given out. Understood? These are the main things that you have to remember when you are writing a chemical equation. Last criteria that you have to specify, if you are using the reactant and it should be concentrated or dilute, or if you are using water, it is in steam form, or you are just supplying cold water. These special characteristics also should be mentioned. I will take the example which is again mentioned in your textbook. The reaction between copper and nitric acid, HNO3, nitric acid. Now nitric acid, you get it in if you are using concentrated form without water content, that is called as concentrated form. Same nitric acid, if you are diluting it in water, this copper plus nitric acid, if you are using dilute form or concentrated form, the products given are different. So you have to specify this in this, the characteristic of the reactant should be specified. Suppose we are using concentrated nitric acid, then what are the products that we get? We get copper nitrate, CuNO3 twice, plus poisonous reddish colored nitrogen dioxide gas and water molecules. Okay. Now same way, same reaction, copper with nitric acid. If you are using dilute form of nitric acid, how will be the products formed? The products formed will be copper nitrate will be the same, copper nitrate N3 twice, plus nitrogen oxide gas and water molecules. Okay. So here in this reaction you have poisonous nitrogen dioxide gas if you are using concentrated HNO3. If you are using dilute HNO3, you get nitrogen oxide gas. Okay. Now in the exam you can expect a blank here. So they may give you the products and ask you to complete the blank. So if you see NO2, that means they have used concentrated nitric acid. If you see only NO, they have used dilute nitric acid. Look at the number of atoms on the reactant side and number of atoms on the product side. It is not same. Let us discuss. Copper. Copper here only one atom. On the product side, copper. This is for reactant side and this is for product side. Okay. Copper, we have reactant side 1, product side also 1. Next, hydrogen. Hydrogen we have 1 here on the reactant side and on the product side we have 2 hydrogen. Nitrogen on the reactant side we have 1, whereas on the product side we have here 2 and here 1, 2 plus 1, 3. Then the last one, oxygen. On the reactant side we have 3 and on the product side we have 3 2s are 6, 6 plus 2, 8, 8 plus 1, 9. Okay. So here as you can see, the number of atoms of elements on the reactant side is not equal to copper, it is equal, whereas all the other atoms are not equal. So in this case you will have to make it equal, and this process is called as balancing a chemical equation, the most important part of this chapter. Now there are certain rules which you have to follow when you are balancing a chemical equation. Now so we will discuss more about balancing a chemical equation. Now what is the need? Why should we balance a chemical equation? Again, because of the law of conservation of matter. We have studied that matter can't be created nor be destroyed. So total number of elements that we have to get on the reactant side should be equal to the number of elements on the product side. So to follow law of conservation of matter, to follow that law we have to balance this chemical equation. We will start with some simple reactions and later on we will come to these two reactions. Okay, for the time being you write these reactions and we will balance it later. Understand how to balance a chemical equation. Now just to keep in mind these few steps as I tell you. First we have to always start with a metal. First you will count the number of atoms present in the metal. Then we will consider a non-metal. Okay. Then we will consider oxygen. Then we will consider hydrogen. Oxygen, hydrogen both are in non-metals, but we will not consider that first. We will consider any other metal or non-metal. Okay, so remember this way. First metal, then non-metal, then oxygen, and then hydrogen. Hydrogen is last. So in this reaction, you don't mention the name of the reactant or compound, that is not asked. Only balancing the equation is given here. So in this reaction, hydrogen, as I told you, we will talk about hydrogen at the end. So which is the metal here? Here sulfur is not a metal. So it is a non-metal. So first we have to consider this non-metal. On the reactant side, S2. So we have sulfur 2 atoms. Whereas on the product side, we have S only 1. So to make this S2, we will put a coefficient 2 here. Okay. So now S also became 2 atoms. S also became 2 here. S became 2 here. Non-metal is happy. Sulfur is happy. After non-metal, we will talk about oxygen. Oxygen. Just see oxygen. Here we have 7 and here 1, 8. So we have 8 atoms of oxygen. On the product side, you have 2 4s are 8. So oxygen is balanced. Okay. Now oxygen is happy. Now last, we will take hydrogen. On to the reactant side, how many hydrogen? 2 plus 2 hydrogen. So hydrogen equal to 4 atoms here. Again here 2 2s are 4. Here also hydrogen is 4. So all the atoms are balanced now. So this is a balanced chemical equation. So what you had to do? You just had to put a 2 here. These are the textual equations that I will be doing first. Then we will discuss some extra equations. Okay. Make a note of it. About these two reactions, these two chemical equations, we'll balance it. First you have to start with metal. Metal is present here, no metal. Then non-metal. Non-metal, again here you have sulfur. On the reactant side you have 1 sulfur here, 1 sulfur here. So total sulfur is 2, whereas here you have only 1. So to make 1, 2, you will put a coefficient 2 here. So sulfur 2 here, 2 there. Okay. After non-metal, oxygen. Count the number of atoms of oxygen. Here oxygen you have 2, whereas here you have only 1. So to make this oxygen 2, you will multiply by 2 here. You will put the coefficient 2. Now oxygen also 2. Here also oxygen 2. And sulfur already 2. Here also 2. After oxygen, the last atom that you will balance is hydrogen. Just look at hydrogen. Hydrogen, here you have 2 atoms of hydrogen, and on the product side you have 2 2s are 4 atoms of hydrogen. Problem, no? So here you have 2, here you have 4. So we have to work here. So to convert 2 into 4, you will multiply by 2. So here you will put a 2. Now again everything has to be changed. Hydrogen became 4, but again you will start with the first, that is non-metal. Sulfur, a1, and here now you have 2 sulfur. So 1 plus 2, so now you have sulfur here 3, and on the product side you have only 2. So we have to cancel this 2 and make it as 3. That's why I called it as trial and error method. So you have to try and try. Okay. So now you got sulfur 3, and here also you got sulfur 3. Now sulfur is happy. After non-metal, again we will discuss about oxygen. Talk about oxygen. 2 oxygen, and here also 2 oxygen. Oxygen is happy. Last again we will check hydrogen. 2 2s are 4 hydrogen, and here 2 2s are 4 hydrogen. So all the atoms, equal number of atoms of each element. So here we call this as a balanced chemical equation. Now you have to specify the states. Now in the question, if it is not specified, you need not write, but it is always better to write the states. Okay. Now here, if the next reaction we'll talk about, Ag, silver plus hydrochloric acid gives silver chloride and H2. Now here H2 gas, so it is ideal to show a arrow mark, and silver chloride is a precipitate. Precipitate means it is a substance that will not dissolve in water. It is not aqueous. Aqueous means copper sulfate. It dissolved in water. giving blue color to the solution. Now here this will remain as curd, like precipitate, now like thick substance. So for denoting that precipitate we use a downward arrow. Okay, for denoting precipitate we use a downward arrow. To denote gases we use a upward arrow. Hydrogen is a gas, so that upward arrow. Here precipitate. The question is to balance the equation. So let us start. As I told you, you will always start first with metal. Now here silver is metal, no? Ag, one atom on the reactant side, one atom on the product side. Happy. Then after metal you will go to non-metal. Non-metal here is chlorine, one chlorine, and here also one. That also is balanced. Oxygen is not there. Okay. Then last hydrogen. Hydrogen you have here one atom and here you have two atoms. So what we will do? We will write a 2 here. Okay. So hydrogen is happy. Now all the, again it is imbalanced. We will again go to the metal side. Silver here is 1. Silver here is 1. Okay, happy. Non-metal, chlorine now here became 2. Whereas here you have only 1. Cl became 2, no? So here you will have to put a 2. Now again we will come to the metal side. Metal side, 2 silver. So here you have to put a 2. Now check once again. Silver 2, 2 Ag, 2 Ag. After metal, non-metal. 2 Cl, 2 Cl. Okay, non-metal also done. Oxygen is not in this reaction. Hydrogen. 2 hydrogen atoms on the reactant side, 2 hydrogen atoms on the product side. So this is again a balanced chemical equation. Understood? To balance these two equations. Okay, hope you are okay with the method. First we will try to balance the metals, then non-metal, then oxygen, and last hydrogen. So let's start. Now here in this metal, sodium hydroxide and H2SO4, sulfuric acid. So sodium is a metal, Na. See the number of atoms. This is sodium sulfate, Na2. We'll start with metal. Here Na, how many? 1 atom. Here you have Na, 2 atoms. So 2, we will write 2 here. Okay. Now after metals, we will go for non-metals. Which is the non-metal here? Oxygen and hydrogen we are not considering. Other than that, non-metal is sulfur. Sulfur here is 1 atom of sulfur on the reactant side, 1 atom of sulfur on the product side. Sulfur is already balanced. After metal and non-metals, we will balance oxygen. See, oxygen here, this is 2 oxygen, 2 plus. Here you have 4 oxygen. So we have 6 oxygen onto the reactant side. On the product side, here we have 4 oxygen and here only 1 oxygen. Always try not to touch a complicated compound. A complex compound, you don't try to touch that compound. Work on the compounds which are simple. Okay. So we need here 6. No. So what we will do? We will try to put a 2 here. Now just see 4 plus 2, 6. 4 oxygen plus 2, 6. 6 on the reactant also. So oxygen is happy now. Now again we'll have to start with the metal part. Okay. So metal, 2 metals, 2 sodium, 2 sodium. Done. Then we'll talk about non-metal sulfur. Sulfur 1, sulfur 1. Then just now we balanced oxygen. 2 plus 4, 6. And here 4 plus 2, 6. Oxygen is also balanced. At last we will come to hydrogen. Hydrogen here 2 and here also 2. So 2 plus 2, 4. Here you have hydrogen, 2 2s are 4. So it is balanced. So this is a balanced equation. Now let us talk about these two reactions. Calcium chloride and sulfuric acid gives calcium sulfate and HCl. Start with metal. Here the metal is calcium. 1 atom of calcium on reactant side, 1 atom of calcium on the product side. Balanced. Then we will talk about non-metal. Now non-metal we have chlorine, we have sulfur. Any one you can take. I will take chlorine. So here we have 2 atoms of chlorine and on the product side we have only 1 atom of chlorine. So I will put a 2 here. Now again let us see chlorine 2, chlorine 2. Again go to metal part, Ca, Ca. Okay, fine. Then another non-metal present is sulfur. Sulfur here you have one atom, on the product side also one atom. So metal done, non-metals done, then we will go on to oxygen. Oxygen, here we have 4 oxygen atoms. Here also we have 4 oxygen atoms. So oxygen is also happy. And after oxygen, last we will talk about hydrogen. Hydrogen, here we have 2 atoms, and on the product side also we have 2 hydrogen atoms. So this became a balanced equation easily. Now we move on to the next chemical equation. Here ferrous sulfate on heating gives ferrous oxide, iron oxide, and sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide gas. Let us balance it. First we will start with metal. Metal is iron here, Fe, we have only one Fe, only one, and here we have 2. So how to make 1 as 2? We'll multiply by 2. We'll put 2 as the coefficient. So again check. Now check the metals. 2 Fe, 2 Fe. After metals you will go on to non-metal. Which is a non-metal? Sulfur. 2 sulfur you have here, and here 1 sulfur, here 1 sulfur, 2. So sulfur atoms on the reactant side, sulfur atoms on product side, both are 2, balanced. After metal, non-metal, you will go on to oxygen. Oxygen, now here 2 4s are 8. So oxygen we have 8 atoms, and here we have 3, here we have 2, and here we have 3. Here we have 3, here we have 2, and here we have 3. 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8. So oxygen is also balanced. So this is a balanced chemical equation. You just have to put a 2 here. So in this way you will be able to balance any chemical equations. After understanding how to balance chemical equation, you remember we had left one equation in the beginning. That we will try to balance. The equation was copper plus HNO3. If it was concentrated, we got CuNO3 twice, copper nitrate plus poisonous NO2 gas, nitrogen dioxide gas, and water molecule. Same format you have to remember. First we will take metals, then non-metals, then oxygen, and last hydrogen. And one more clue I told you, don't try to disturb complex looking compound. Okay, so let us start. Here copper is metal, 1 copper here, 1 copper here, no problem. After that we'll go on to nitrogen. Nitrogen, here we have 1, whereas here we have 2 nitrogen, and here we have 1 more nitrogen, that is 2 plus 1, 3. So nitrogen we have 3. So what we will do, we will try to put a 3 onto this side. So nitrogen became 3, 3 nitrogen, 2 plus 1, 3 nitrogen. Again we will look on to metals. Copper 1, copper 1. Okay. Nitrogen also just now we balanced. After metal, then non-metal, then we'll go on to oxygen. Just see now here oxygen, 3 3s are 9. 9 oxygen atoms, and on to the product side, 3 2s are 6. 6 plus 2, 8. 8 plus 1, 9. Oxygen is also balanced. Both sides. So oxygen happy. Now last we'll go on to nitrogen. Now last we'll go on to hydrogen, not nitrogen. Hydrogen. So here we have 3 hydrogen. Hydrogen we have 3, and here we have hydrogen only 2. So what we will do, we will try to make this 3, and here we have 2, no? So what we will do is, we will try to make this as 4. No? 3, and here we have 2. What we will do is, we will try to make this hydrogen 4. So you will have to multiply here by 2, and here we will write 4. Now again we will have to restart. Again start with metal. Metal 1 copper, 1 copper. Non-metal, nitrogen, here we have 4 nitrogen. Here we have 2 plus 1, 3 nitrogen. So a problem. No? So nitrogen became a problem. So we need 4 nitrogen. So what we'll do, I told you not to touch the complex compound. We will put a 2 here. So here we have 4 nitrogen. 2 plus 2. Nitrogen also became 4. Nitrogen happy. Again just we will check again with metal. Copper 1, copper 1. Nitrogen 4. Nitrogen here also became 4. After metal and non-metal, oxygen. Oxygen 4 3s are 12. We have here 12 oxygen. Just check on to the product side. 3 2s are 6. 6 plus 2 2s are 4 plus here we have 2. 6 plus 4 10. 10 plus 2 12 oxygen. So oxygen is also happy. Last comes hydrogen. Hydrogen 4 and here also we have hydrogen 4. So this is balanced now. So remember this step, metal, non-metal. Then again you check. Once you put a coefficient, no, again you have to check metals and non-metals are proper or not. After balancing metal and non-metal only, you have to come to oxygen and at the last you will come to hydrogen. And I gave you one suggestion, don't try to disturb a complex formula compound. Try to gamble with the smaller ones. Okay, so this is a trial and error method. The more you take such chemical reaction, more practice you do, you will be able to crack it easily. Now I have few chemical reactions for you to do it. Very simple one. Just make a note of it and balance it as assignment. Once you understood the method, now I want you to balance these 4 chemical equations. For you to get it clear, S plus O2 gives SO2. H2 plus O2 gives H2O. CaSO4 plus NaNO3, calcium sulfate, sodium nitrate gives calcium nitrate plus sodium sulfate. CaNO3 twice plus Na2SO4. Last reaction, methane, CH4 plus O2, carbon dioxide and water. Now, try to balance these equations and we will see in the next class. Till then, bye.